So unless you're just the paid shill for the oil and gas industry, I think that it's just common sense at this point that there's no such thing as a safe pipeline. And when it comes to Keystone or the Dakota Access Pipeline, it's not a matter of if they spill oil, it's a matter of when they inevitably spill oil. And now currently, the governor of North Dakota, as he tries to push through the Dakota Access Pipeline, had an oil spill in his own backyard. So according to Natural Blaze, a farmer in North Dakota discovered one of the largest crude oil spills ever recorded in the state, just bubbling up out of the ground while harvesting wheat a few months ago. Farmer Steve Jensen stated that he smelled the crude oil a few days before his combines were covered in it. The oil was spewing and bubbling 6 inches high, he said in an interview with CBS News. The Tesoro Corp's underground pipeline spilled 20,600 barrels of oil under the farmland. It was 4 times the size of a pipeline that burst in March of 2013 that forced the evacuation of more than 20 homes in Arkansas. Tesoro Logistics released a statement that the affected portion of the pipeline has been shut down. Protection and care of the environment are fundamental to our core values, and we deeply regret any impact to the landowner, Tesoro CEO Greg Goff said in a statement. Yeah, right. Now, in spite of this, Energy Transfer Partners, which is the company that wants the Dakota Access Pipeline to go through, as well as the governor of North Dakota, they still want it to go through because they don't care about the environment. They care about money. I mean, when it comes to the governor of North Dakota, is the environment going to help him get elected into office? Well, no. Energy Transfer Partners is going to donate to his campaign and help him get elected. So if the environment isn't doing anything for him other than giving him, a habitable planet, then why would he care? And that's exactly what the problem is that we always put profit over the planet and people in this country, and it's just sickening. Now, more about this pipeline. So it's estimated that the oil spill is the size of 7 football fields. That's huge. Now, that makes it one of the largest in the history of North Dakota. Now, thankfully, it hasn't contaminated the nearby water supply, nor has it harmed any wildlife yet. But it will cost $4 million to clean up, and it could have been much worse. Now, you would think that the governor of North Dakota, as well as governors across the country that are approving these types of pipelines, would see that this is a warning sign of greater things to come. If this pipeline bursts and that pipeline bursts and they keep bursting and spilling oil and destroying the planet, maybe we should stop approving them. But that's not the case because there are several other pipelines that are currently being planned in states across the country. We have the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission that just approved the Nexus pipeline that's going to run through Northeast Ohio. And there's also the Rover pipeline, which is being constructed by the same oil company that is now building the Dakota Access Pipeline. And this one will run through multiple states. And then there's also the Utopia East pipeline, another one in Ohio that is going to potentially be constructed soon. So if you care about the planet and you want it to be habitable for future generations, we have to stop these pipelines. The federal government, state governments, they've made it very clear that they don't want to get off of their oil dependency. And if they don't want to do that, we're going to force them to, because what I think right now is progressives in every single state have to fight against these pipelines. Because clearly, if you have a monetary interest in the construction of these pipelines, then they're going to continue to pop up throughout the country. And we have to take a stand now. With someone like Donald Trump in office, nothing will get done about climate change. And what we can do is at the local and state level, we can push for reform there. So I think that we need to take a stand against all these pipelines and also the Dakota Access Pipeline, but we need to show these energy companies that they cannot continue to destroy the planet because it gives them money. That's not acceptable. This is our planet too, and we don't want you to destroy it. We don't want it to be less habitable because you're greedy. So I say we all get together in our states and we stop these pipelines because it's just not acceptable anymore. They're going to spill, they're going to harm the planet, and this pipeline really, it was, even though it was the size of 7 football fields, it could have been much worse. It could have contaminated drinking water. It could have destroyed wildlife. But, it's going to happen. There's pipelines all across the country. There's 3 new ones that I told you about that are being constructed, and it's going to be worse than this. So we have to take a stand now and stop them.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.